I've got a question on the wheels, on fitting wheels on a Colorado. Okay. Mine was a hit and miss. I got lucky, but I was prepared to do whatever it takes to fit these tires and wheels. So, one of you guys asked me, will 33s fit with a 3-inch lift kit? Hey, I don't know, man. You just have to try and see. He wants to use the stock wheels with 33s. It might work. I don't know. Mine's a tight fit with 35s, but I didn't have to cut anything. It went right on. I crossed my fingers and everything works. But I did have these spacers just in case, because I had just in case. I had to make it work. So I went and ordered these. I've got these sitting here. They fit. I already tried them. Anything else you want to know about them? I have no idea. So, to the guy who's putting 33s and want to know if they're going to fit or not, I have no idea. But if you need these spacers, let me know. They're just sitting here collecting dust. How do they fit? How do they go on? Are the studs longer, shorter? I have no idea, man. You're just going to have to, you either want them or you don't, right? Because I never installed them, so I don't know anything about them, other than they bolt up. Okay, so before the batteries wear out, I can try this on the wheel just for you, right? This is the factory wheel right here. It's a 17 by 8, so a 35-12-50 should fit on here on an 8-inch wide wheel. That's what I run on the Bronco. That's what I run on this truck here. Minimum you want on a 35-12-50 is an 8-inch wheel. You could squeeze on you can squeeze it on a narrower wheel, but I wouldn't. It's not recommended. It's like a fat guy in a Speedo. Just because it fits doesn't make it right, right? Anyway, this should fit right on there, and it's hub centric. Okay, these are hub centric. In other words, this fits into the wheel. This is what centers the wheel. That's what they call hub centric. So that. And then you see there, then you can use the factory lugs on there. That's another question or something you got to look into yourself. Once you put the wheel on there, if these stick out too far, okay, you want to make sure your lug nuts don't bottom out before they tighten on the wheel. I've done that before. Okay? Or if these don't stick out enough, you don't got enough thread on there, that can be bad too. That's why you gotta make sure you fit these proper. You gotta make sure the nut screws on, enough threads, and then you gotta make sure this and your nut does not top out. It'll tighten up on the top of this bolt before tightening your wheel. You'll think it's tight. Yeah, I torqued them and everything, but yeah, your wheel falls off, or what happens is the studs will snap. I've done it. I got a flat on the Bronco, and I had the steel wheel with the chrome lug nuts from the aftermarket wheels, right? So the steel wheel is thinner than the aluminum wheels. So I put the spare tire on there because I got a flat out in the desert. I put the spare tire on there. I use the lugs, the custom lugs off the custom wheels. Tighten them up, tightens up, right? Yeah. By the time I got home, I had 3 lugs missing. They snapped off. That's because the lug nut did not tighten down on the wheel like it's supposed to. It bottomed out on the studs. If you see this lug nut, it's got a hole in it. It'll go all the way down. Those custom lug nuts I had on there are the short ones. they would top out, and it looked like it was tight. You'd think it was tight, yeah, but it was topped out against the stud there. Okay, so I hope you get it. Okay, and I assume with these factory wheels you got to use the factory lug nuts. Because a lot of times this is different. See that? So it has a taper. This fits onto the spacer perfectly. Some wheels are different. The factory wheels on my Super Duty had washers on them. They're hub centric, so they center up on the hub, but the lug nuts had washers on them. All they did was tighten to the wheel. They did not have that taper on there. So when I use custom wheels, then you got to get the custom lug nuts that go with the wheel. So this factory wheel, you use the factory lug nuts. Again, make sure they don't bottom out on the studs. Get it? I hope so. I'm running out of air here. So anyway, thanks for all the comments and suggestions on my videos. I was wondering why I'm not getting enough views. Maybe I'm just not putting the keywords in there correctly, or the thumbnail, what they call the thumbnail, the opening shot there, you know, make it something interesting. Yeah, I don't want to do clickbait, nothing like that, because you know what, I've looked at some videos with clickbait and you're like, oh man, I just wasted my time on this stupid video. Had nothing to do with what was on their thumbnail and their opening shot there, so I wouldn't do nothing like that. I try to keep it simple. Be honest, right? So, yeah. You want these? Hey, they're here. Oh, then I got a comment about not replying to comments. I can't reply to every comment. I read them, but typically if somebody's got a question out there or a problem, I'll try to help you out. Like a guy, Bronco owner, is having a problem balancing his wheels. Yeah. If you saw my video on the issues I had with the Bronco getting the wheels balanced, I went to 3 different shops. Before I finally went to Tucker Tire and told them my situation, and they got them down. Just because the guy says they're balanced doesn't mean he balanced them correctly. Have them check them. Take the wheel off, put them on the balancer. If they're balanced correctly, they should be within a 1/4 ounce. Could be his balancer's out of whack. Could be the installer's out of whack, you know? You never know. Or, like the one shop I was going to, I was watching him with the boss. The boss is there. He wants the guys to balance him once. In other words, you put him on the balancer, spin it, put the weights on, done. That's not how it's done. He says, oh, you don't got to do that. I go, dude, you spin them twice. You spin it once, you put the weights on, you spin it again, and you check. Make sure the weights you did put on there are going to work. Sometimes you got to fine adjust it a little bit. You might have to add a little bit or take a little off. But yeah, spin it once, spin it twice. Make sure they do that when they do your wheel balance. Watch them. A lot of guys spin it once, it's done. No, you didn't check it. You got to check it after that. That's why you spin it again. Just because the machine says it's balanced doesn't mean it's balanced. Anyway, this video is a lot longer than I anticipated, because now I got to review it, edit it down a little, and then download it onto the PC, and all that takes time. That means I'm going to be locked in the house for another 4 hours.